as you could see, that it's always packed with people, crowded, that people come to see. It's the most touching place in Yerushalayim because you see the Holocaust in front of you. Here's the entrance to Yad Vashem, where there is the big mitzvahs for the 6 million Jews that were destroyed in Europe. Here, Reb Chaim is showing us all around the whole mountain which is built on. And here is the monument that was put up in their name, the name of the 6 million Jews.
It was a very touching experience, seeing all this and being reminded of all the bad that had happened. And of course it's everyone's fervent hope that never again should there ever be a Holocaust. This is the memorial to the martyred Jews.
Comfort is to see that from the ashes of the Holocaust grew up the beautiful Israel, Medinas Israel. Here we are visiting the cave of the Rambam. But before that, we went to Miron, and this is the cave of Shimon Yochai, the building where all the people come to pour out their hearts.
We went with our cousin Eleni, I think, at the time. Now we're on a bus visiting the Lubavitcher Yeshiva. The students were not there at the time in Sfas, but it is a beautiful yeshiva. Now I'm walking with my daughter Rivka. You can see the traffic is very heavy in Yerushalayim. We had the apartment just about a block away. We were near everything. We were near all the busy shopping districts. Now the only thing we couldn't get used to it was the heavy traffic. One day a car got on the sidewalk and he was angry at us for standing on the sidewalk. How we dare we get in his way, but luckily nobody was hurt. Now we're in the main thoroughfare on, this is my little newspaper man that offered me an apple one day because he saw I was tired and he thought I was hungry. Very nice little man. We were talking Jewish.
Every day you hear him calling out, Marib, Yediot, Yediot, Marib.
Now, we're in front of Richie's Pizza Place, which is the equivalent of the pizza place on Avenue J or on 13th Avenue. My daughter Rivka came there practically every night to meet all her friends, and it's something to enjoy. Interestingly enough, my husband and I didn't even have one pizza there, but we had other foods that was really delicious. We're just enjoying. Now, there's this little alleyway where we made Mishpacha family signs that we bought for the Mishpacha to put on their doors with their name on it. And here we met a Russian cobbler who fixed my shoes that were coming apart. And he really didn't want his picture taken so you don't see his face. He did a good job, incidentally, did not charge a lot.
I really don't know where we are. Here we are visiting the cave of Rabbi Balanes in Tveria. It's a big shul, and the matzeva is in the shul. You go into the shul, I go over to the matzeva, and you pray there. You were visiting.
You know, we were going together on this tour, a private tour, with cousin Eleni and Danny and the two children, who will pretty soon be 3 in Matz Hashem. We had a wonderful day. We spent a wonderful time together, getting reacquainted with my darling cousin Eleni and her wonderful husband Danny. She was so hospitable. She met us with food, and many times she sent over food to us. She was the one who got us the lovely apartment, incidentally, and we have to give her a big yashikaya.
Here, this is the cave of Rambam, Rabbeinu Moshe Bar Maimon and his son, and people come there every day to say tefillos and to pray in their schus. Should come the Geula and the Yeshua for Klal Yisrael and for every Jew individually.
I'd like to say amen to that. It's funny to see the children running amongst the two stones so happily, but they really shouldn't be too sad because they had a wonderful, wonderful heritage, and they're growing up to be religious, and of course living in Israel is a plus for them. It's a big bonus not growing up in America. Growing up in Israel is a great experience for young children, and they will be imbued with a wonderful spirit as a result.
We're still at the holy places where there is the cave of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, I think, and his son Rabbi Loza, and we all said our prayers and we're getting ready to go home. Here we are already at home and upwards.
And we had a joke about a pumpernickel, and we wanted to, which I don't think I would like to say it on film. It's kind of risque. But the idea is this, we couldn't find a pumpernickel, so my husband walked around, a honeydew, to show he's walking with a honeydew, and all of a sudden the honeydew is not there. You don't think I should tell the joke?
I think so.
Well, but no, the picture's over.
Okay.
I'll give it to you privately. Don't worry about it. Look, I didn't even know this picture was being taken, and my husband refuses to discard it. But as you can see, I had to wash clothes there and hang them up, and it was kind of early in the morning.
4 o'clock.
It was 4 o'clock in the morning,
And the sun was shining.
and the sun was shining very brightly. I know, I wake up early, everyone. What were you doing up 4 o'clock in the morning?
Taking in and taking the pictures to show that Israel is Yerushalayim especially is a sunny city where the sun is out most of the day, giving light and warmth.
I really didn't know the picture was being taken. I would have smiled and put on something more, proper for the occasion. But anyway, there's the skyline again, and this is the porch. Not even a porch where you hang up clothes. It's a little storage room, and we were 7 flights up. It's really a sukkah, but I just couldn't hang up clothes, looking down and hanging up clothes on the line. So this is a job my husband did, and these are friends from across the hallway, and my daughter Rivki had wonderful friends there. She had a wonderful group, and somehow she knew when to come home to sleep and to eat. But as far as enjoying friends go, she really had a great time. This is Iti and Rena waving to us from Queens. Now, I think that my husband is going to go over, and he's going to show you how he hung up clothes every time I made a washing. It was a lovely apartment. It was like full of svarim, and of course we had a washing machine, which I never thought I would have in Israel, my own private washing machine. The people were the Kalbachs by whom we stayed, and he was the Rabbi Kalbach. He was the chief rabbi of Belfast at one time, and his living room was stocked full of svarim, ceiling high, and I still say that if it wasn't Israel, my husband never would have left that room. He had a lot of artwork there, also art books, and besides his Hebrew books. This is my clothes. Oh, yes, because of Pfefferberg, we ate very good. You know, we're not really restaurant people. We used to take home the food and eat it at home. Here is Mrs. Pfefferberg, and we were there on an average of twice a week taking home food for us. Their schnitzel, incidentally, is delicious.
Here we are now in front of the famous department store, Hamash Beer, which belongs to religious people, and everything they buy there is kosher. They have a market at the basement, and also a department store on the top. So, here I'm coming out from a mashbir with the bags in my hand, carrying home what I bought for Shabbos. And you ever see the green light that you have to wait crossing because it's a very busy street. Big one.
And here we are by the Biblical Zoo. It's called the Biblical Zoo because they just use the animals that are mentioned in the Bible. And in front of every a sign, there's a pasuk where it says in the Bible about the animals. I think that we are embarrassing my daughter at this point. We went on a little choo-choo train, my husband and I, and of course parents go on who take their children. Rivki was a little bit too big to go on, so we enjoyed. We were trying to get a little child to go with us, but no little child wanted to go with strangers, and I don't blame them. Here is Avram on the choo-choo train waving.
Nice.
Rivki is in the background, and she's very embarrassed, and she's not waving back to us. Anyway, it was cute. It lasted about 3 minutes, the whole thing, so her embarrassment wasn't that long. And we're walking through the park now. It's a beautiful park. Lots of children are there, as you can see.
They all coming from the religious community that's really...
And all these people are coming from the religious community in the neighborhood. My daughter's friend Shirley and her husband Tuvia live there with their 2 or 3 children. And the back of the camel is the Ezra's Torah community, where lots of religious young people live, and sometimes they get the noise of the camels. I think every day they get the noise of the camels. And when the wind blows the wrong way, just watch out. Anyway, it's beautiful out there. It's a wonderful community, and the zoo was lots of fun. Well, these are a bunch of boys who are cut-ups. They were, the girls had an apartment, my daughter's friends, right across the hall, and the boys and girls always came together, and they're acting, they're clowning, as they always do. This is their way. They always act, and there was a laugh every minute. One is Shimmy, and one is, the one who's making believe is an Arab. I forgot his name. He's the brother of one of the girls, and the And one is Dennis, and this is Shopsy, and he's taking my husband's wallet, but don't worry, folks, he's going to give it back. And, oh, it was just a lot of fun. I don't even remember what we were saying, but you can see what we were doing, that I guess people across the hall must have thought something was wrong with every single one of the Americans. But it was all in fun, all in jest.
We're all very happy with you.
And we were just very, very happy to be there. And there's Rifki, who is holding a cigarette in her hand, but she does not smoke. None of my children do, I'm happy to say. Well, this is not my son, so he's smoking. That's okay. But it was nice. And here am I, hitting the Arab on the head with a hanger, no less. And he's being brought down to the ground, and I'm the victor. And I'm quite happy being the victor. And I did something silly, but we all did silly things. But it was all in fun, folks, so don't worry about that angle. And Dennis is listening for the heartbeat. And the other guy is stepping or stomping all over him. And it was a good morning, but it didn't last too long, thank the dear Lord. Just about 10 minutes, that's all.
Here is the new building that's coming up in the center of Israel, right near the Amashbir. Will be full with offices and business. Here we are, and the Shuk, the Arabian Shuk, because all the it's an attraction for the tourists. They come to see how marketplace used to look 1,000 years ago. And the people are looking for bags, but
beautiful place. It's high on a Har Carmel, and you can look down. You can see a beautiful waterfront with all the boats and all the hubbub that's going on down there. It is a beautiful city, but it's away from Jerusalem. I really like Jerusalem very much. As you can see by the landscape, it is well kept and well developed, and from what I understand, it's the biggest port in the Middle East, and there you see all the boats that are docked in the harbor or going to and fro.
We're going up to the highest. We're going up to the highest place on the Har Carmel, the place where you look down and see the city, the sea, the ocean, and all the scenery around for many, many miles away. And here we're coming in.
We're coming into a park at Haifa, where luckily on the Carmel, with a concert was in progress. We stayed for a while. We listened. Rather, a symphony was in progress. We took turns sitting on the grass to take pictures. If we wouldn't have been there as tourists, and if we would have been without the camera, I think we would have enjoyed the music more. As it was, we concentrated on taking pictures and just taking everything in and thinking how beautiful it is. Of course, my husband's camera was checked by the gate to see that it did not have any bomb or anything, any explosive, and we had to try to shoot one picture to show that it was a legitimate camera. So we wasted one picture, but it was okay. There's the orchestra leader, if you can see it in the background. The music was nice. I forget what they were playing, but it was all free, and people came with blankets, much as they would in Central Park. But I think here you did not have to be afraid to sit.
Here we are now, visiting the Knesset, Israel's parliament. People are sitting there in long lines. It takes a long time to come into the Knesset. Not allowed to take pictures from inside of the Knesset, but here is the front of the beautiful building, famous Knesset, where all the Israeli congressmen come together to make the laws and to vote for the policies of the country. You see people from all over the country. Here's across the Knesset, the beautiful park, and we are walking in it to enjoy Israel's beautiful flowers.
Here am I walking with my darling husband, hand in hand. This is the first, ladies and gentlemen, and we're smelling the beautiful flowers and just enjoying.
We went also to visit the Hebrew Museum, but we ran out of film. We couldn't take pictures from it. From now on, you're going to see a film that shows the house of our cousin Daniel and his wife Elaine, Esther.